Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, live from Studio 630 in the burbs of Chicago. It is time now for another episode of Outside the Box. With your hosts, Oz Osborne and Pee Wee Taylor.
Welcome back, all my scion deviants and
douchebags.
Thank you. Why did I not think of that?
I don't know.
I'm really surprised that the douchebag thing is taken off.
Dude, people are about it.
I figured people would be pissed off.
Did that broad think she would did she have any idea how hard that was going to spread?
I have no idea.
To this day, we're still replaying it like it means something.
Well, and Steve Ball threw up a second one.
Yeah, the remix.
Which
There's
was
a remix
crazy.
now.
So, anyway, I guess if you get offended by the douchebags, you're then a deviant.
Okay. I don't care if anyone's offended, so that really...
Anyway, we're back at episode number 18. We have actually got another party here. We've got Mr. James Yorko. Oh my gosh, he's going to get on camera.
What's up, guys?
He's going to be our Jamie kind of guy in the background. So we're going to have him on. He's already helped us out with lighting because, look, we paid the electric bill and we got lights now.
We're not sitting in the dark anymore.
So anyway, we're just doing our quick intro. We've got a good video for you today. We got some insurance stuff going on. We're going to talk about insurance, what to do if you get into an accident and whatnot. And then who do we got to talk to?
Mrs. Dode.
Mrs. Dode. Dode tells us she's the real OG. So we're going to find out all about that right after a couple of commercials. Welcome back, my douchebags and deviants. I don't know why I have to do this now. How did that become a thing? I gotta give you guys all a big hug. Welcome back, everybody. We are here, episode number 18, possibly 19, depending on how long that goes. I don't know. So, we're gonna talk about something that, I asked for people for subjects, but I guess I'm just gonna start coming up with stuff because nobody's answering my questions. I feel sad.
We've been observing a lot of chat.
But we do observe the chat.
We do.
And I had a guy that I got into a conversation with about insurance. And I thought, you know what? Boring ass subject, but there's a lot of people that really need to know.
It's definitely worth talking about, I feel,
Now, we're going to talk about insurance in two different ways. We're going to talk about paying for it a little bit. I understand a little bit of that. I'm not saying that everything is the same with every insurance company. So for the best thing to do is if you've got questions, ask your insurance agent. So, we're going to talk about this, okay? In having customized vehicles, everybody kind of wonders what is covered, okay? And that's what was brought up with this question. This guy was like talking about how his car wasn't getting much, da-da-da-da-da. I know that we all look at our car and think it's worth $1 million because of what it means to you in your heart.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to insurance agencies, all they see is the miles on the car. They don't care if you've got a JDM front end or, everything's JDM or whatever.
Right.
They don't care. Because even if you got that car brought from Japan and put here and it gets totaled, it's still a 2006 Scion. Yeah. It's a 2000, whatever you've got, okay? And it all depends on the miles, okay? I see guys all the time now, they're what's my car worth? It's got 150,000 miles. Dude, an XB that's got 150,000 miles is not worth much.
There's a lot of variance in that too. It depends on condition. Do you have body rust? Is it well maintained? Has it been in an accident? There's a lot of factors in what values a vehicle. You know what I mean?
Right. If you watch Barrett Jackson, look at those guys in a 69 Camaro is going across the block. It's got $150,000 in it. Yeah, it's got like 2,000 miles or something on it, or something along them lines. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of it's other than that. But if you're looking at just a 69 Camaro, say it's a Yenko and it's going across the block, that motherfucker is going to have low miles and it's a Yenko, so it's rare. Okay.
Go find out and then go price out what a 69 Camaro with a stock motor that's not number matching.
Right. Again.
And where it's a good driver, but the values.
So one of the big things is that we've all got to understand, even Raylan Box, if I was to freaking get that into a wreck, it's still only worth a car that's, the mileage on that is under 100,000, I'll tell you that. So that's a little something, but it's also the second motor. The motor doesn't match whatever. But when it comes to that, another issue is this, and I'll bring this up as an example. I had a Mitsubishi Montero. I'll put a picture up here so you guys can see it. I got into an accident. I'm sitting at a stoplight. I got rear-ended and pushed into another car, okay? The car on the outside had a body kit that I made, one of a kind, made to fit the car. The interior was all painted fiberglass. I had easily $7,000 worth of work in the interior. It was painted to be what the color of the car was going to be on the outside. And I got rear-ended and it totaled. And I'm going, dude, what the fuck? I had an insurance agent, and the funny part was, it was an Allstate agent. We'll get into the Allstate thing a little bit.
Yeah.
I was working at a body shop. The Allstate agent came in because that's what I got hit by. I was a customer from Allstate. I kind of knew the guy because he had been in my shop. He walks in, looks at me, and goes, call your insurance, have them come out and look at it. Here's the reasoning behind it. Depending on your insurance is what's going to be what your car is worth too. If you have State Farm, and I'm going to say these names outright because I know for a fact. State Farm, yes, you pay a little bit more for it, but your coverage is better. The guy knew I had State Farm insurance. He knew that if I went through the Allstate insurance, I was not going to get the money that they would say that State Farm did.
Right, and that leads into another topic. I don't know if you want to come back to it, but the topic of you get what you pay for.
You do.
I don't want to talk about your driving record or previous accidents. I'm saying, let's say you got a normal driving record, maybe a speeding ticket 10 years ago. What you generally get what you pay for.
Exactly. And what he's saying there is, if you got the general insurance,
The general.
that fucker's going to make it so that you can drive legally, but that's about it. If you get in an accident, he's going to bend you over and bang you fucking hard dry. It's that bad.
Well, it's all about keeping costs low. You get that cheap insurance because when you get into an accident, guess what?
But you got that piece of paper saying you got insurance. And that means you can drive legally and the cops aren't going to say shit. But if you get in an accident, you're screwed.
Right. You're high
Same
and
with
dry.
your deductibles. A lot of people don't even look at this, okay? Say you go and buy in a new car and you're like, holy shit, I got a brand new Tesla Model X or something crazy, you know? Oh, I got to put insurance on it. Well, my insurance is like $150 to $200 a month. Okay. So now you got to pay for that. Well, I got to get insurance, but I can't afford it. Well, you need to look into that. And that's all I'll say on that. But let's go back a little bit into the thing, okay, where I was saying about the Allstate agent. What happened was that the Allstate agent said, look, you guys are going to go through your insurance and you're going to come after us. The State Farm Insurance Company will get their money, but they're going to have to go to court for it. Now, what that means is that I got rear-ended. Obviously, I wasn't at fault. I'm sitting at a stoplight. I got rear-ended. If you're rear-ended, the guy who hit you, 95% chance he's at fault. So they knew that. So what ended up happening was, okay, I got my check from State Farm, minus $500, which was my deductible, which keep in mind, when you pay for your insurance, your deductible is going to adjust your amount that you pay. But think about this. If you get into an accident and you then have to fork out $500 to get it done. Now, it's a little bit different in this situation where they took the $500 out, but then when they got the money from that company, that insurance company, they gave me my $500 back because it wasn't my fault. Which I need to check with State Farm because I don't think I ever got that money. What up, motherfuckers? Anyway, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. But just something that you think about when you're sitting here thinking, wait a minute, I don't ever remember getting that check. Anyway, so this guy told me a story. It's funny because I was talking to the Allstate guy. He told me a story that was him. He had a 70 Cuda, okay?
Okay.
The car at the time, not when this is now, because a 70 Cuda piece of shit is worth a fucking $1 million now. But the car wasn't worth fucking $600. He had a brand new Hemi, or not brand new, but rebuilt Hemi. The motor was beautiful. The motor alone was worth $5,000. He put it in that car, took it for a test drive around the block. It got hit and totaled. Damn freaking thing.
Wrong mouse.
It is wrong mouse. Drink! Anyway, they totaled it and gave him like $1,000 for the car. Because that's what the car was worth. Not worried about the motor that was in it that's worth so much, but it doesn't matter. So what I'm saying with this is that if you put all these JDM parts on it, excuse me, it doesn't make it worth any more money in the insurance eye.
Right.
Unless you put a rider on your insurance for that, which you can do. Custom paint, all this other stuff. You can add that to your insurance. You will pay more for it.
Now, here's the thing with that, though. You can do that, but oftentimes it causes your insurance rates to go up, and sometimes, more often than not, for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, you have to gauge what this stuff is worth in reality. Like, yeah, should I pay an extra $250 a year to cover a bumper I paid, $400 for? You know what I mean? Like, you have to gauge out what it's worth. Like, I have Progressive, and with Progressive, they will cover aftermarket parts as long as you have receipts for them. So let's say somebody hits, my front end and my grill gets bent. I can get a new grill if I have a receipt. But it all depends on how your policy works.
That depends on your insurance. So that's something, like we said, you need to talk to them about to see, because everyone's different. Because I have State Farm insurance. I got rear-ended in the same Montero a different time before it got totaled, and I claimed everything. You know, I had an amplifier that didn't work anymore. I had subs that didn't work. All kinds of shit that was aftermarket, underbody kit, everything. They didn't need the receipt. They did need to see the thing. And I did work in the body shop, so that helped. But if it's on there, you can get it. A lot of companies will make you jump through hoops. Don't get me wrong. When I had to get that shit covered, I called State Farm every day for a week. And finally they realized that this is not going to go away. And I jumped through the hoops. And they said, well, get us prices to give you the money that it was involved in it. And they weren't saying get me a receipt, but they were like, get us a quote for like a 4-channel amplifier or whatever. So I got them a quote, and they gave me the money for it. But again, it took me some effort to get into it. So, a lot of it is this. Your insurance companies are just, they're trying to make money just like everybody else. So they don't want to put out.
They want to take the path of least resistance and least cost. They want to get your claim settled and you paid out as cheap and quickly as possible. And I know you hear these lawyers where they're like, oh, how to fight insurance companies, but it's true. Because that's how they make their money.
Exactly.
But, if you fight with them and you stay on top of it and you can, and you're within your rights, they're going to have to eat it.
Right. And they'll see that it's not worth it. But it's just like all the other shit in the world, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Oh, this guy's not going to fucking go away, so I better take care of this. And it happened. I got everything covered, and I got it done. Now, some of the other stuff that I want to talk about. If you get into an accident, and that's what this was about, this guy was talking about, well, my car totaled, and they're not going to give me, I think, and I don't remember the guy's name, and I'm not sitting here picking on him. I just want to bring this up so that people understand. My car's got 135,000 miles on it. They're not giving me any money for it. Well, what did they give you for it? $3,100. I'm sorry, but that's what your car's worth.
I mean, if that's what it's worth, that's how it works.
How can you find that out? Get online. Look up Kelley Blue Book online. You can type it into Google.
Now, for people who don't know, I'm sure most people know the definition of totaled.
Do we need to talk about that? I think we probably do.
We probably do.
Totaled. What does totaled mean? It means that the value of your vehicle is less than the damage caused to it. So therefore, if you get into an accident, to repair it costs $5,000 and the car is only worth $3,100, they're only going to give you what the car is worth. So it's like this. If you got into an accident and you were going to buy the car, are you going to pay the guy what it's worth to buy a new car, or are you going to pay him what the car's worth now in a crumpled mess? I guess that's
let me put it this way. There's a lot of talk of, and this is not on anything, I've seen this across the board for all types of automotive, whatever. People buying back cars from the insurance.
And there's
after it's totaled. That's a risk you take. Some people can do the math and go, yeah, that works for me, or I can do something with this car, or I can part it out. But reality is, a lot of the times, if the car is really screwed up, sometimes you're like money ahead to just let it go and cut your loss. You know what I mean?
And that leads me into another thing I wanted to talk about. Yes, for instance, now let's talk about the buying it back. That depends per state. There are some states
there's rules
that allow you to buy it right back. I think with my Montero, it had to be a certain age before you can buy it back, and I was like maybe 6 months away from it, and I've lost my car from it. So there are laws that are in effect that are different per state to state. Now, I totally lost my train of thought. Anyway,
it varies from state to state on when you can buy the car back.
Right. There's other things involved too. Now, when you get them back, if you want to put that vehicle back on the road, sometimes you have to understand that, I know in the state of Illinois, it used to be, if you bought that vehicle back, you had to put it back to stock to go through a safety inspection before you were allowed to put it back on the road.
What happens is when you get the car back in Illinois, it's different every state, you receive a salvage title. Now, but with the salvage title, you can't do anything with it until it's fixed.
Yes.
Once it's fixed, you will receive a rebuilt title, And rebuilt titles are perfectly okay to register and plate and drive.
Exactly.
So
But in doing that, sometimes you have to be licensed to be able to do that. So
yes,
that may play a part in. I know in Illinois.
check your local laws. That's all
I know
I can
in
say.
Illinois you do have to have a license to do that, or
Right.
have somebody do that.
And then you have to take it through inspections, and I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, and there's a lot more to that you may want to look into that is as it pertains to your insurance and your state. So, not everybody's able to go out and just buy their car back and then part it out. Let's talk about another thing, okay? When I had that same accident with my Montero, like I said, I had $7,000 worth of interior in it. Each door had TVs molded into each door, so that when you close the door, it was right there so you could see it while you're driving.
Now, guys, mind you, this was a different era, and this was a long time ago. So
Exactly.
don't think this was like yesterday that he had TVs at his doors.
So I'm sitting here going, dude, I got fucking TVs in every door. I don't want to lose that shit. Well, I asked the insurance company, what can I take? They're like, anything that's not factory. I cut the TVs out, fucking left it. Okay, that may not work in everybody's situation, but you got those JDM parts that you want, okay? Make sure that you didn't sell the originals, because sometimes
People ask me why I keep my stuff. I'm like, keep
Exactly.
it. Why would you get rid of it? You already paid for it.
Here's the situation. If you do this, you can then swap it back out. And that's what State Farm told me when I totaled out this truck. Well, you can take anything that's not aftermarket as long as you put something back. So the 20-inch wheels I had, took them off, put my factory Steelies back on. That's cool. The taillights, this, that, and other thing, custom stuff that I did, pull it off, put it back at the factory, done. Same thing happened with the box before Raylan box. I had a Thundercloud XB. I had that. I hit a tree backwards. Yeah, snow. Great. Different story.
It's the Midwest. Yeah.
Hit a tree backwards. Totaled the freaking car. Okay. I then said, what can I take off of it? At the time, the car was bagged, had 18-inch wheels. I had a full custom dash. I had all kinds of stuff done. So, and here's a great example. I know this is going to be a little bit different because I work in the industry, but here's what can be done. I needed to have both vehicles next to each other so I could swap parts out.
I know of an XB person who did this.
So what I did was this. I talked to the guy that I bought the car from, and I said, look, I got to get this thing. I need to buy this car. I need to get it here with this. I won't have a check until then. The guy said, this is very easy. I'm going to need you to write me a post-dated check, and then when you get the check from your insurance agent, you call me, tell me when I can cash the check. Not everybody's going to do this.
That's somebody doing you a favor right there, because that's pretty legit, or somebody who really trusts you.
Well, they knew where the hell where I was.
It's not hard to find you. I mean,
they would have just come after for more money. But here's the situation. So then I took and got that car, drove it over. Well, I had talked to my insurance agent. My insurance agent was like, well, I'll give you the check as soon as you let us know we can pick that car up. Okay. I pulled one in right next to the other, took a dash that looked brand fucking new, took it out, put it in the other one, pulled that one out, put it back in here, which
the insurance company
was still halfway done, but I wasn't giving up on it. And now it's over there in a pile of dirt. But I put it all back the way it was. I put on a pair of 18-inch wheels that I didn't want, let them go, took everything I wanted, put it on the other vehicle, and let it go. So, well, the funny thing was, when I bought Raylan box, it was already bagged. I took the suspension off of the other one, put it away, took my factory shit, put it back in, sent it off.
Yep.
What's the insurance company want with a bagged XB?
They don't, and the reality of it is, people, they don't want your aftermarket shit.
No.
They can't get the profit out of it because they can't do anything with it.
Right.
They want the stock stuff.
Which leads us to this. What happens to that vehicle? Do they just take it out and crush it? Hell no. They're taking it to an auction at a salvage yard, and they're going to sell it off for parts, scrap, or whatever they can get out of it. So nobody's going to buy a bagged XB at auction to go and fix this XB that they've got sitting here in their driveway or whatever. They want
Right.
it factory. So therefore, those aftermarket parts, those JDM parts or whatever else you got on there, insurance company don't want them because they can't sell a car because nobody's got a JDM XB that is missing a gate. So the only people that are going to be able to get off of that and make any extra money is if it's sitting in a junkyard somewhere and somebody comes across it and goes, holy shit, there's a JDM gate on here.
I have found, so on an off topic, real short, I have found so much great stuff in junkyards. I love them.
They are amazing.
They're
So
great places.
that's kind of where we're going with this. Is there anything else that we kind of skipped out on?
You know, I feel like there is.
I do too.
You know, I'm trying to think. Like, but here's the funny thing. Like, I had an '06 Subaru Impreza that received hail damage. Like, really, really extensive hail damage. I mean, I paid X amount of dollars for the car, and I'm like, with the way the car is depreciated based on mileage, I'm like, it's gonna total out. I thought they were gonna take the title and write me a check and send me on my way. I ended up getting the estimate done. It came out to $3,100, and they were like planning on like, well, we'll fix it. Here's your check. I took the check as I was like, okay, that's fair. Granted, I got a car that's unsellable. You know, the body's completely ruined on it. But the thing is, the way they value how damaged a car is, some parts get replaced with used parts. Some stuff gets repaired and removed and repaired. You know, it all depends on, you know, how your insurance company does it too. I mean, you know more about that than I do.
Which leads me to this. And we are live. We are here with Kristal West, and she is going to fill us in on all kinds of the OG shit that we don't know about.
So, Kristal, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself for the people who don't know who you are?
I am married to Rando West. There are many things that I could say about him, but I have to show him proud and not be a sappy wife. There is a blue pink moon, full moon last night, but
I missed that.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. I put all my fucking beads and shit out into the moonlight and filled them all up with the good energy, so I'm kind of like crazy squirrel today.
Ah, okay.
Gotcha.
So I'm like a hippie chick.
No, we could not tell.
I'm going to tell you something. I believe in lunar cycles because when we would get full moons, I used to work at a grocery store and people would get weird. Like for no reason.
We were just talking about that last night.
It affects animals
you
for
have
sure.
To believe in it because everybody gets crazy at the same time.
I don't believe in anything anymore.
All right.
I don't even believe in the conspiracy theory shit anymore. What the fuck happened?
So what else do you have to tell us?
Okay, so I am very proud to say that I'm married to Randall. I get in trouble a lot because we have been together since 1994.
Wow.
Damn.
And yes, I said that correctly, 1994.
Most of these people that are watching have not even been born yet.
We graduated high school and started to date our senior year in high school.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
high school sweethearts here. I didn't know that.
Yes. He's very talented. I don't think I think he's so wonderful. And the only thing I will say, because I don't want to overstep bounds and upset him because I respect his very wishes, I just wish people understood out there the time frame and the work he does is absolutely handcrafted. And he's an artist, and you cannot. I just now started to get into art myself, and there's some days, and you probably know this, Oz, too, since you are a badass painter.
Something like that.
Some days you just don't feel like being a fucking artist. Like you have a shitty day. Like sometimes it happens. So please remember that when you're texting him and you're messaging him, that it takes time sometimes. And trust me, he's not gonna forget. And if he does forget, he'll fucking make it up for it. And trust me, he replaces parts and he takes care of his customers. Please just start giving him some slack, is all I'm asking. We are trying to heal, and I'm sick, and everyone may or may not know. I've been very ill for the past 2 years. Let's get to the car stuff now, but I just want to give a little history so everyone understands, and whoever watches this, I hope it's a shit ton of people because I love your guys' podcast.
For sure.
Just cut him some slack because he has a daughter and a wife that he's taking care of in addition to this business. So please, he's nothing but peace, love, and happiness here. Just cut him some slack.
For sure. It's
Yeah.
definitely very hard, and I don't think people understand that. And I can definitely feel the same thing, you know. In this world where we've got everybody that wants a text message right back every time, when you're looking at getting custom-made products, you don't realize how long it takes to do this. You know, I've got customers with the shift knobs. They're like, well, have you done anything? I haven't even got your knob yet. And, you know, I try to relay that. But it's very hard for people to understand that sometimes.
The problem is that with the way technology is, everyone gets instant gratification in every facet. And I feel like people don't understand what it takes to make stuff, to hand make stuff.
Yeah.
And I see people riding Dote. I'm like, dude, you gotta like it. Like with Dote, I tell people, I'm like, it's great stuff. It gets to you when it gets to you. Like you can't put the arm bar on them and you know what I mean? Like I get it.
And there's the family dynamic, which you guys have got as well. You know.
Yeah, he's got a wife.
yeah.
You know.
You gotta cook the chicken. You got to do the other stuff. You know, I got to mow the lawn. I got to, you know, do all this other crap.
You can't.
And you got to keep that into consideration. So
yeah.
Anyway,
so
let's stop preaching about that. Let's talk about some cool shit.
So I actually was not a car chick before I met Randall Patrick West. Patrick is his middle name, by the way. I'm staring at it and I don't give a fuck. And yeah, that's all you can do with that if you need to.
So how's
And he
Flanders?
really hates it if you call him RP.
Brady.
No, he's dode.
But you
That's
better
it.
delete that because that's gonna probably make him mad.
It's hard. It's hard enough for me to call him Randall. It's like
Outtake. Please give me the outtake.
I look at it and I'm like Randall, and I'm looking it up. I'm like, dude, I can't find him in my phone again. Oh
And then
wait.
you got to use his full name.
So yeah, it's definitely interesting. I've had friends like that for years though. I had a buddy in high school. I didn't know what his real name was. I would call up and ask for his brother every time because I always remembered his nickname, and I'm like, well, they ain't gonna know who it is, and it never worked. But anyway, oh my God, she's double fisted.
Oh, we're double cupping it now.
All right, what we got,
Dude,
Peter?
if my stomach is gonna let me handle beer, I'm gonna take the moment because my stomach does not always behave.
So, the fleet of vehicles you guys have, let's talk about them.
Yes. I want to talk about the cars.
For sure, these people want to hear about the cars.
Yeah. So I actually got into cars because of Kristal. My parents were not car people. My dad actually did own a Volkswagen Bug and drove my mom in it when she was pregnant once, and there was one when I was a kid. So my parents owned Volkswagen. And then I started to date this hot guy back here when he was 18 years old, and he picked me up on our first date in a 1961.
Oh, you got it right.
61 Combi, and holy shit, it was hot as fuck car.
Combis are the shit though.
I love a bus. It's a bus, not a van.
Never sold it.
Yeah, well, you can always get another one, but
Sold it for a bug.
that's a hard sell.
Right? Downgrade.
Yeah, well,
Somebody told me.
I love bugs too. I'm not saying.
I was gonna say.
but you know what?
I'm a Volkswagen person. Period. It doesn't. I don't care what model.
It's a hard sell because we're looking at it now, many years later, and we can see that the combis are going for huge money now.
Huge.
Not that the Volkswagen Bugs aren't, but the combis are definitely way up there. And,
They're more.
but anyway, so
Yes.
so you.
Yeah, and then of course, the scion thing happened in 2004, but we actually bought the silver one I drove in 2003, 4th of July.
Okay.
And I still remember when we got it, they told us that the back bumper was optional.
The back bumper was optional?
I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's very interesting. I don't even know how to take that.
I don't know what to do with that information.
Your employee properly.
Well, there is always that. So, back in 2003, you said you were driving it. So, how did the love affair come about? I know Rando touched about it a little bit when he was talking about it. Let's hear it from your side. Because you were the one that wanted the Scion, if I remember right.
Yes. Well, Randall, of course, was like, that's badass. I'm going to get one for you. I'm like, let's do it. Because they were unique. They were different. And as our buddy Ray would say, i.e. Moon Ray, who's the owner, OG, he's the actual original OG. Him and his wonderful wife are living their retirement dream and moving to France to retire.
Okay.
So the Moonray car is near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad I have it now. As you know, it got into an accident, but for me, I think just driving a car, the first one we had when we were part of Team Siren West, we literally washed the car every weekend. And I don't care what anyone says, if you wash a car every fucking weekend and make it pretty and put that much effort into it, you become in love with it. It just happens.
I agree.
Well,
So that's how it happened for me.
And there's definitely something about that particular vehicle, like we said earlier, you can always get another Volkswagen, but it's not going to be the same. It's the same with your Moonray. Yeah. It's the same with Raylan Box. I had talked about doing another vehicle and doing full frame on it, and I'm like, but it's not Raylan Box. There's definitely something there that is about the vehicle, and I don't know what it is. I can't explain it.
I agree. I mean, I have a love affair with every vehicle I own, except that Subaru I had. I never clicked with that car.
Yeah.
That was like a bad purchase, but
So tell us a little bit more about Moonray.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and tell us a little bit more about this whole love affair with Moonray.
So Moonray was the original owner of the Blue XP that I now drive. We do have future plans that are amazing and wonderful, and I'm super stoked about it. But I have to drive it carefully just to make sure he stays safe because he did get into an accident. But we, because of the accident, we are gonna thank God I'm married to this wonderful man because he fixed the damage that was done. They actually totaled it, and I was devastated while I was sick, and I was just beside myself for so long. And Randall, being the wonderful man he was, like literally turned it around and like made it better within like 2 days from him. And after that, I knew it would come back. So as you can see, it's a kind of an emotional card for me. But I do want to get a license plate on it that says Moonray. But he's the original owner. He actually bought a wife and then did ghost flames on it, and then he bagged it. Randall did a shit ton of work on it, did the oil changes. Like Randall did all the maintenance on that car because Ray brought it to him to do.
Okay.
So that, and recently, because they are moving and going out of the country, I didn't realize that he's the original Kiwi, by the way, never used, never installed tires, rims from 2003.
Yeah, we were talking about that those are them.
That's crazy.
It's rare you get stuff back like that too.
For sure. And it's still being in good shape.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to make money on them because obviously he knew, me and Randy planned it because he literally had the boxes open in his garage when we went over there, and I know he knows I was going to see it. Me and Randy are like, we had that planned. He knew I was going to take the bait. Sure enough, I did. $300 later, I walked away, but he only charged us what he paid, which was fucking, we kind of got a deal on.
Yeah, right? That's amazing. And it's amazing, it's kind of like, and I hate to bring this up, as I hate Gas Monkey and I hate fucking Richard Rawlings.
Yeah.
I'm sure Rando's back there agreeing with us. But I heard a story about Crew Cut, which I don't know if you guys follow that or not. Crew Cut was the truck that they just did. And there was an original steering wheel for that. And the guy was trying to get it after he bought Crew Cut back. And he ended up talking to Richard a couple times and doing something. And Richard just handed him the steering wheel and said, here, you need to have this. Which is probably the only thing I've heard that I actually agree with the guy. But, there's definitely something to that it's amazing that somebody will see that, this belongs to that car.
What about, what truck was it? There was a piece of the truck that was painted that was separate from
Last Look,
and somebody had it hanging in their garage, and it was like the dude was into 4x4s, and he ended up getting it back to the original owner.
Fester.
Yeah.
That's rad.
And that's amazing that it's like that. And I know the Scions aren't quite at that point yet, but there are some icon builds out there, and there's stuff floating around, and it's cool that we can see that happens, and hopefully that happens for other people that are out there looking for parts.
Yeah, speaking of parts, I want to plug somebody, and I need to make sure I say his name correctly. Who's this dream? I want to give him a shout out. He's rad. There's a dude out there doing like the
Ken Jepsen.
What?
Ken Jepsen.
Ken Jepsen.
Oh, yeah.
Caleb, I want to give a shout out to that dude because he has badass shoelace that sent us something, or badass Converse. He has this cool thing that we're actually going to do something really cool with that we have to take one out. That he had sent a message to me and we talked a little bit, and I told him about it and said, let me know if you need any help, which I thought was wonderful. He's a good guy. But we're going to do something with the hood and make it kind of have some eyebrows with the headlights and make it kind of different. Since we're going to paint it anyway, we thought, why not?
Okay.
Well, that's cool.
Cool.
What else you got, P?
What's it like living in a house with Rando?
That's the question?
Yeah. I want to know.
I feel like I know this because I see everything.
I see it every day.
I want to know.
It looks like it's all barbecues and beers over there and buses.
Okay, so there is a lot of barbecue and beer, yes. That is true. That's what keeps him happy. So I'm going to be honest with you. Anything that keeps him happy and well, I am absolutely totally willing to do because He's an artist.
Tell him to keep his pants on, please.
He puts his clothes all over the floor. He's a messed ass man because he's an artist. Like, sometimes it drives me crazy.
Oh, you couldn't have got a more honest answer to that.
That's the most honest answer you could get. I mean, they say that with geniuses, that's why, like, you know, genius, like, people can't keep their shit together in their house because, you know.
I don't know. Mine's pretty clean. I must be dumb
Yeah,
as
you're.
fuck.
No, I'm not saying, like, clean. I'm talking, like you got stacks of stuff. Like, you don't, like, organize
I
your
say
stuff.
that now, and everybody goes in there as a stack of dishes, but anyway. But
You know, yes, I give him his space in the garage, and the garage is pretty much I let him have beer cans everywhere. I don't really care. In the garage, it's like he can do whatever he wants. Really, I really try not to make him be clean in the garage, but in the house, honestly, Randall's the kind of man. He does what he does, and like if I want it to be changed or something bothers me, we have to talk about it. But then we're cool about it. Like honestly, that's how we communicate because we are pretty open and we want to live the best life ever, and we love each other. Obviously, we've been together for 25 fucking years. But
Yeah.
I couldn't honestly one other person I work with. Like he's the most amazing father. He takes care of me when I was sick. He started making his own meals, and you know, there's not a lot of people that can say that. And I have a wonderful support system, and with me right now, I know I'm blabbing, but I've been so sick. He has saved me. He's honestly my prop.
yeah, it's great. You know, we see a lot of your posts about that, and you know, and I'm glad to see things are coming around for you with that. And it definitely it takes a certain person to to help you because if you didn't have Dode, it probably wouldn't have worked that way. So there's reasons for that in your life. So. And that's great, but it does look. I'll tell you, I look at you guys through Instagram. I see your posts on Facebook and whatnot, and I swear to God, you guys got. It looks like heaven a lot of times because like you got all the pictures in the driveway and whatnot. They all got like the perfect lighting and everything, and I'm like, fuck, I need to move to Arizona. What the fuck?
You make Arizona look appealing despite the fact it's 110 degrees outside.
For sure.
Well, I'm sure everyone knows this about. Because of if you look at his Instagram, you can kind of tell, but he actually loves photography.
You can tell.
And he walks around and
Hey,
you get a picture, honey, with this light, with this angle, with this. So that picture that you have, I don't know which picture you're going to use, but there's a picture of me with my XP and my butt. I actually sent you those odds through Messenger.
yeah.
Yeah, he really loves working that camera.
He gets visions and he makes them come to life.
Well, and that's it. But we got to mention your name here a few times, Rando, just so you'll drink because I heard about the drinking game.
Hey, here's your lowers. I'm still working on your uppers.
Okay,
I
man.
had to show you something.
Oh, this ought to be good.
This ought to be good. Nice.
I dropped your medal. I dropped your medal.
Yes! Look at
Look at
that!
Hopefully it comes with a Dode skull.
Yes, the Don't Skull for sure, but I love it like that, dude. And I love the pictures. It's kick-ass to see that being built. And that's...
I'll keep this video PG-13. I won't do what I really want to do for this.
There it is.
There it is!
There it is.
You gotta have the Don't Skull. For sure, man.
Here. Full on Kristal fashion. Just throw it on the floor.
Just go ahead and set that anywhere.
Oh my God, this is funny as hell.
Oh, man.
So, anyway, let's get back to it. Where the hell were we now?
We were... What the fuck? What were we talking about?
We're talking about Rando, but he said to stop talking about
Yeah, he doesn't want to be talked about, so...
So, anyway, let's go...
Hey, stop stroking me.
Hey, you just sit back there and drink beer.
No, not his.
We need the freaking secretary. What the hell is that? The secretary or sergeant at arms to keep shit in line.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no order here. There's no order here.
Bailiff.
Yeah, bailiff. Get out your thing, Pee-wee. Anyway,
You got a hammer laying around here?
it's definitely cool to see that stuff, and I appreciate that stuff. And
Here you go.
I gotta get my. Oh shit.
Over in the court.
This is for you.
All right.
Put
So
that back. We don't need that.
anyway, where the hell?
We were talking about bags. What were we talking about before that?
Was the last question.
We were talking about photography right before that.
Oh, photography. Yeah, you can definitely sell, and that's part of being an artist. You know, it doesn't. If you've got an artist's eye, it doesn't matter. We've seen the picture, the drawings that he's done. We've seen the photos, obviously, and everything else. It's if you've got that eye, you can do it. Put a paint gun in his hand. I'm sure that fucker can paint. But that's it. We're done talking about you, dude.
Stop talking about my dick.
God.
I'm not talking about it. Just keep your pants on.
I don't want to get banned from YouTube.
I don't know how to use the little blurry thing. I think I have
don't. You probably have that option in editing, but
On a Volkswagen front, really quick, I don't want to forget a big shout out to Mr. Steve Ball because he very wonderfully did this cool rendering of my bus, which I say I'm just as proud of my bus. I'm actually more proud of my bus than the XB because the bus, I actually built the motor with these hands by myself, with help, not by myself. But I got to build it, and I love Volkswagen motors right now. It's a huge passion of mine, but Steve Ball hooked us up with wanting to make some Fender shirts.
I saw that.
His drawing was badass, and I really appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it. Much love. Thank you.
Yes, he does amazing work, and if you guys haven't seen it, I'm sure you'll see it here shortly. I'll try to throw a picture up here in the corner. I guess it's over there. And we'll throw that up there for you guys to see. But anyway, yeah, Steve's doing some amazing shit. And I was talking to Kristal, and Steve was like, I got to get Rando's address. I got to send him some shit. And I sent you a message, and then I never heard back. And I was like, I never heard back, Steve. And then you messaged me like a week later or something. I'm like, oh, here you go. And he's like, kick ass. And they started doing it. So, but anyway, yeah. So let's get back to it. So you got the Scion in 04, you said it, I believe. And you said it was the first one in Arizona.
03.
03.
Yeah.
My bad. So how did it go from there? You know, how long did it go until it started to just get out of control? Because we know where it ended up.
Yes, that's a crazy story too. That's really cool because I drove that car in California because my commute was very short. So that car had really, really low miles on it, my silver one. And then once we moved here, I was pregnant with our daughter at the time, and I needed a mommy mobile, but still kind of a car, so I got a Mazda 6 wagon. And then Randall started driving the Silver XB. And then, how old was Morgan when you bagged it?
You gotta back up.
Oh, Team Scion West.
You're talking about Team Scion West, Scion Exposed.
This is why I keep him around.
You almost forgot.
I'm like more involved.
He's involved. He remembers shit that I don't remember.
That's good. Somebody's got to remember something in the house, right?
So where were we at?
Team Scion West,
Okay.
First club.
I think, was the first Scion Club.
Okay.
And those were the car shows we started to go to when we watched the car every weekend. We would get boba and Cerritos. You've never had boba, it's amazing.
No.
No.
Pretty good.
Wait,
And
Qdoba? Like
so
the food? The Mexican joint?
it's tapioca balls.
Oh, I'm thinking of something different. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you guys Google boba because Randy keeps them and getting off topic, which we're just talking.
Off topic. We had a script.
I know.
There's no script.
We don't have a script either, so
We
we're
have
screwed.
we have ballpoints. Like we have I know what you're talking. I do know what you're talking about, so we don't have to Google it. But
Anyway.
carry
They're
on.
good. They're delicious.
All right, guys. Wait, I said guys. I mean
Douchebags.
My douchebags, my deviant
Deviants.
sisters out there. That's it. The girls are the deviants. The guys are the douchebags.
All right, that's fair. That makes sense to me.
I can't look at a girl and call her a douchebag. I just can't do it.
It's a weird vibe when that happens.
Anyway, how crazy was that?
That was pretty crazy. That was very, very high energy.
Oh my god, dude! That's
There's
so
a lot
much
going
fun.
on.
Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. That's part 1 of a 2-part with Miss Kristal West.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I always
Yeah,
get-
you
I
got
always-
it. No, you actually got it that
The
time.
Miss and the Mrs. I don't understand that
It's
shit.
Mrs. It's Miss if she's not married and Mrs. if she's married.
Is that how it still
And
works
then if
in
you,
2019?
and then if it's Ms. Mizz, I think it's either or, but you don't want to declare.
Anyway, it's Kristal West.
Done.
And that's it. And it will continue. And we will not mention the other guy who will have to drink if I mention his name.
Dode.
Dode.
Drink. Sorry, bud.
Don't.
Well, what's funny is if he plays the game, he played the game while we were doing that, and then if he goes back and watch it, he's got to play it. He's got to do it again.
So if you guys don't know, there was a kind of an inside joke there. Rando actually, I saw him post on something somewhere when he was talking to a buddy saying that he made the cast into a drinking game. Every time we mention his name, he's got to drink.
Apparently, it happens enough that it can become a drinking game. I didn't realize
so
that.
play at home with yourselves. If you hear Rando, drink. Drink, Rando, drink. Rando, drink.
There's a lot of things you can make into a drinking game, but
Anyway, but that's part that, and we're done.
is that it?
I think we're done.
All right, let's pinch it.
Have you said anything else? Do we need to say anything else?
No, because you have to tune into part 2 to
You got to
hear the rest.
hear part 2, and then we're going to slide out of here, and you guys are going to come back, and we'll see you in another week.
What up, y'all? Yeah, soundtrack, what's poppin', baby? Woo! Y'all ain't know, I go by the name of Lupe Fiasco, representing that 1st and 15. Yeah, and this one right here, I dedicate this one right here to all my homies out there grinding. You know what I'm saying? Legally and illegally. You know what I'm talking about? So, check it out. First got it when he was 6, didn't know any tricks. Matter of fact, first time he got on it, he slipped, landed on his hip and busted his lip. For a week he had to talk with a lisp like this. Now we can end the story right here, but shorty didn't quit, it was something in the air. Yeah, he said it was something so appealing, he couldn't fight the feeling, something about it. He knew he couldn't doubt it, couldn't understand it. Branded, since the first kick flip he landed. Labeled a misfit, a bandit. Cocoon, cocoon, cocoon. His neighbors couldn't stand it, so he was banished to the park. Started in the morning, one stopped after dark. Yeah, when they said it's getting late in here, so I'm sorry, young man, there's no skating here. And so we kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, coast. And the way he rolled, just a rebel to the world with no place to go. And so we kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, coast. So come and skate with me, just a rebel looking for a place to be. So let's kick and push.
kidding me? I have a scion. I'm riding on a box on wheels.
Scion, douchebag.